Let me tell the tale of Zillah, first loved of Caine, first wife of Caine, the sweetest blood, the softest skin, the clearest eyes. Alone of Caine's newest childer did Caine desire her, and she was not mindful of his desire, turning away from him. Not gifts nor sacrifices, not perfumes nor doves, not beautiful dancers nor singers, not oxen nor sculpture, not beautiful clothes, nothing would turn Zillah's heart from stone to sweet fruit. So Caine pulled at his beard and tore at his hair and took to roaming the wilderness at night, thinking of her, burning for her, and one night Caine came upon an old crone singing to the moon. Caine said to the crone, "Why do you sing so?" And the crone replied,
"Because I yearn for that which I cannot have."
Caine said to the crone, "I yearn also, but what can one do?" The crone smiled and said,
"Drink of my blood this night, Caine, father of all kindred, and return tomorrow night. Then I will tell you the wisdom of the moon."
Caine drank at the crone's bare neck and departed. The next night, Caine found the crone sleeping on a rock. "Wake up, crone," Caine said. "I have returned." The crone opened one eye and said,
"I dream of the solution for you this night. Drink of me once more and return tomorrow night. Bring with you a bowl of clay, a sharp knife, and then I will have the answer for you."
Once again, Caine took blood from the crone, who immediately fell back into a deep slumber. When Caine returned the next night, the crone looked up at him and smiled.
"Greetings, Lord of the Beast,"
the crone said.
"I have the wisdom you seek. Take some of my blood into the bowl you have, mix in these berries and these herbs, and drink deep of the elixir. You will be irresistible, potent, masterful. You will be ardent, and you will be glowing. The heart of Zillah will melt like the snows in spring."
And so Caine drank from the crone's elixir, because he was so in love with Zillah, and he so desired her love in return. And the crone laughed. The crone laughed aloud. She had tricked him. She had trapped him. Caine was angry beyond compare. He reached out with his powers to rend the crone apart with his strength. The crone cackled and said,
"Do not."
And Caine could do nothing against her. The crone chuckled and said,
"Love me."
And Caine could do nothing but stare into her ancient eyes, desire her leathery skin. The crone laughed and said,
"Make me immortal."
And Caine embraced her. She cackled again, laughed with the pure ecstasy of the embrace, for it did not pain her.
"I have made you powerful, Caine of Enoch, Caine of Nod, but you will forever be bound to me. I have made you master of all, but you will never forget me. Your blood, potent as it is now, will bond those who drink it, as you did once a night for 3 nights. You will be the master, and they will be your thrall, as you are mine. For though Zillah will love you just as you wanted, you will love me forever. Go now, and claim your lovely bride. I will wait for you in the darkest places."
And so, heavy-hearted, Caine returned to Enoch, and for each night, for 3 nights, Zillah drank from her sire, though she did not know it. And, on the 3rd night, Caine announced that he would marry Zillah, his sweetest child, and she agreed. For a year and a day, Caine laboured in service to a crone who with blood wisdom bound him as surely as any prisoner. She would visit him at night, force him to give up his blood for her secret elixirs and potent formulas. She would take his child as childer, and they would never be heard from again. But Caine was wise. He did not drink from her ever again, and she did not ask him to, thinking that he was ever in her thrall. One night, Caine went to the crone in the forest, and told her of terrible dreams that he had during his sleep. "I fear for my life, crone. I fear the prophecy of Auriel, and my children's lust for my blood. Tell me secret knowledge that I might be powerful against my own." The crone went to a tree made of gopher wood, and broke off a limb. She took out a sharp knife, and sharpened the limb.
"Take this piece of living wood, sharp, strong. Pierce the heart of your wayward child. It will render him still, and yours to command. Instead of feasting on your heart's blood, he will feel the weight of your justice."
Caine said, "Thank you, mother." And with that, moving in quick motions, Caine took the stake of gopher wood and drove it deep within the crone's heart. Because Caine, wise Caine, had not fed upon her for a year and a day, and because he forced his will through his hands, he broke the bond she held on him and turned his fortune. She laughed again as blood welled up and poured out of her mouth. Her eyes poured out hatred. Caine kissed her, once, kissed her cold, withered lips, and left her there to Raphael's gentle smile, the sun that rises. In the beginning there was only Caine. Caine who sacrificed his brother out of love. Caine who was cast out. Caine who was forever cursed with immortality. Who was cursed with a lust for blood. It is Caine from whom we all come. He is our sire's sire. For the passing of an age, he lived in the land of Nod, in the loneliness and suffering. For an eon he remained alone. But the passing of memory drowned his sorrow, and so he returned to the world of mortals, to the world his brother, Seth, third born of Eve, and Seth's children had created. He returned and was made welcome, for none would turn against him due to the mark that was laid upon him. The people saw his power and worshipped him. He grew powerful, and his power was strong. His ways of awe and command were great. And the children of Seth made him king of their great city, the first city. But Caine grew lonely in his power. Deep within him the seed of loneliness blossomed and grew a dark flower. He saw within his blood the potence of fertility. By calling up demons and listening to whispered wisdom, he learned the way to make a child for his own. He came to know its power, and, doing so, decided to embrace one of those near him. And, lo, Uriel, dread Uriel, revealed himself to Caine that very night, and said to him, "Caine, though powerful you are and marked of God, know you this, that any child you make will bear your curse, that any of your progeny will walk forever in the land of Nod, and fear flame and sun, drinking blood only, and only eating ashes. And since they will carry their father's jealous seed, they will forever plot and fight amongst themselves. Doom not those of Adam's grandchildren who seek to walk in righteousness, Caine. Stay your dread embrace." Still, Caine knew what he must do, and a young man named Enosh, who was the most beloved of Seth's kin, begged to be made son of the Dark Father, and Caine, mindful though he was of Uriel's words, seized Enosh and wrapped him up in the dark embrace. And so, it came to pass that Caine beget Enoch, and, so doing, named the first city of Enoch. And so doing did Enoch beg for a brother, a sister, and Caine, indulgent father, gave these to him, and their names were Zillah, whose blood was most favoured of Caine, and Irad, whose strength served Caine's arm. And these kindred of Caine learned the ways of making progeny of their own, and they embraced more of Seth's kin, unthinking. And then wise Caine said, "An end to this crime. There shall be no more, and as Caine's word was law, his brood obeyed him. The city stood for many ages, and became the center of a mighty empire. Caine grew close to those not like him. The children of Seth knew him, and he in turn knew them. But the world grew dark with sin. Caine's children wandered here and there, indulging their dark ways. Caine felt anger when his children fought. He discovered deceit when he saw them make words war. He knew sadness when he saw them abuse the children of Seth. Caine read the signs in the darkening sky, but said nothing. Then came the great deluge, the great flood that washed over the world. The city was destroyed, and the children of Seth with it. Again, Caine fell into great sorrow and went into solitude, and he left us, his progeny, to our own ends. We found him, after much searching, deep within the earth, and he bade us go, saying that the flood was a punishment for his having returned to the world of life and subverting the true law. He asked us to go, so that he might sleep. So we returned alone to find the children of Noah, and announced that we were the new rulers. Each created a brood in order to claim the glory of Caine, yet we did not have the wisdom or the restraint. A great war was waged, the elders against their children, just as Uriel had said, and the children slew their parents. They rose up, used fire and wood, swords and claws to destroy those that had created them. The rebels then built a new city out of the fallen empire. They collected the 13 clans that had been scattered by the Great War, and brought them all together. They brought in the kingship clan, Ventru, the clan of the beast, Gangrel, the moon clan, Malkavian, the clan of the hidden, Nosferatu, the wanderer clan of Ravnos, the clan of the rose, Toreador, the night clan, La Sombra, the clan of shapers, Zimizi, the snake clan of Setites, the clan of death, Giovanni, the healer's clan, Sorlot, the clan of the hunt, Asamite, and the learned clan, Bruja. They made a beautiful city, and the people worshipped them as gods. They created new progeny of their own, the 4th generation of Cainites, but they feared the jihad, the prophecy of Uriel, and it was forbidden for those children to create others of their kind. This power their elders kept for themselves. When a child was created, it was hunted down and killed, and its sire with it. Although Caine was away from us, we did feel his careful eye watching over us, and we knew that he marked our movements and our waves. He cursed Malkav when that one defamed his image and doomed him to insanity forever. When Nosferatu was found indulging his tastes in foul ways with his own children, Caine laid his hand on him and told him that he would forever wear his evil, and twisted his visage. He cursed us all for killing the 1st generation of his children, the 2nd generation as we had hunted them down one by one, Zillah the beautiful, Irad the strong, and Enoch the first ruler, and we mourned them all as we were all of a kind, and all of the families of Caine's childer. Though this city was as great as Caine's, eventually it grew old. As do all living things, it slowly began to die. The gods at first did not see the truth, and when they at last looked about them, it was too late. For as Uriel had said, the seed of evil planted blossomed as a blood-red rose. The Troil, the child of his child's child, rose up and slew his father Bruja, and ate his flesh. Then war racked the city, and nothing could ever be as it was. The 13 saw their city destroyed and their power extinguished, and they were forced to flee, their progeny along with them. But many were killed in the flight. for they had grown weak. With their authority gone, all were free to create their own broods, and soon there were many new kindred who ruled across the face of the earth, but this could not last. Over time there came to be too many of the kindred, and then there was war once again. The elders were already deep in hiding, for they had learned caution, but their children had founded their own cities and broods, and it was they who were killed in the great wave of war. There was war so total that there are none of that generation to speak of themselves any longer. Waves of mortal flesh were sent across continents in order to crush and burn the cities of the kindred. Mortals thought they were fighting their own wars, but it is for us that they spilt their blood. Once this war was over, all of the kindred hid from one another and from the humans that surrounded them. In hiding we remain today, for the jihad continues still. And none will say when Caine will rise again from his sleep in the earth, and call for the city Gehenna, the last city, the city of judgment. The jihad continues still.